I've come to the National Photography Symposium, mostly because I was invited by Paul, but I've been coming for, I didn't make the first one, but I think I've come to every one since then, so I always look forward to it. It's a great event, I love coming, mostly because it really makes you think. Listening to all the discussions and the panel groups and just the different things that go on, it's an opportunity to just kind of stop work as such for a while and just listen, and yeah, it gives you real food for thought. I find the journey back home, I've got so many ideas buzzing around in my head then, it's like, you know, I'm too much to think about all in one go. But speaking for the BIPP, it's a democratic process whereby the standards have kind of changed and they continue to change over the years because technologies change, expectations change. So they're kind of defined by a group of people who've gone through the system, who then educate others so that everybody understands what makes a good image. So it's kind of done in that way, so that the assessors are all trained by other assessors who've also been trained, so that everybody understands what the kind of the line is, if you like, for a licentiate qualification, for example. It's just basic competency. So we're looking for technical excellence really at that stage, to be able to take a shot, so that if you're being commissioned by a client, doesn't matter whether that's for a wedding or whether it's for a corporate photo shoot, that client can be confident in knowing that they're going to get a certain level of competence from that photographer. So the bride's not going to end up with a dress, you know, blown out of all of its highlights so that you can't see the detail, and you know, the corporate shoot that's maybe cost quite a lot of money to have done is not going to be a complete disaster. You know, they know that they can trust the person that they've hired to achieve that standard. The standards are the same regardless of the field of photography that you happen to be in. But of course they'll be interpreted differently depending on the field. So the challenges facing a forensic science photographer, for example, will be very different from those that do family portraits, for example. But they still have to achieve the same standards. So it's just different in the way that we would ask for the information. So the evidence for one might be slightly different than it will be with the evidence for another one. It's kind of open to interpretation in terms of how that's applied, but the actual qualification itself, that level is pretty standard. I mean, it's subjective, but it's applied in an objective way. I don't think that there is as much awareness as there should be, and there could be, and that's something that we're certainly trying to address. I think there's a certain amount of naivety on the part of some people who commission photography in the first place, that perhaps they don't research as much as they should, that they don't realise that you can get a qualified photographer, for example. It's a difficult one, because I think it comes back down to, again, the value that is placed on photography. There is an expectation, I think, amongst a lot of people who commission photography, that they can get an awful lot for very little. And I think that's something that does need to change.